Welcome back. You're watching Republic TV. Getting in some visuals now of an emergency in the skies. Let's get you the pictures of how an Alaskan plane, a passenger plane, mid-air, a window broke and there was an emergency situation. A video also being shot by some of the passengers, now posted on social media. Let's bring you those pictures. Take a look at what happened in the sky. This is an Alaska Airlines plane. It's also now grounded 65 Boeing 737-9 aircrafts late on Friday, hours after a window and a piece of fuselage on a flight blew out midair. Window blew out midair at about 16,000 feet, forcing an emergency landing in Portland. The flight landed safely with 174 passengers, 6 crew members. This was a situation you can see in one of the videos when it pans towards the window. There is no window there. The plane window just blew out midair. It just blew out midair. And several items, according to reports, including phones, were sucked out of the plane when it suddenly depressurized. Everyone is now reported to be safe. Quite a scare there on board the Alaska Airlines flight, and this is a video that came in some time back, and let's play out that video and hear a little bit of what happened in the skies. A video posted by one of the viewers, one of the passengers, I beg your pardon, on board that flight.
Okay, so there was no one seated there. There was thankfully no one seated near the window. Yeah, they just said. Yeah, I thought we were too.
This wasn't even the emergency door. We're at the end of the plane, so the emergency door's right there. It was just a piece of the plane.
Okay, so there was no one seated there. There was thankfully no one seated near the window. Yeah, they just said.
Phones, etc., were sucked out. The plane had to make an emergency landing. When such an incident happens at this height, which is reportedly around 16,000 feet, what is the kind of situation that the pilots, the crew, and passengers have to deal with? Wing Commander Bakshi.
Thank you very much. This is again a very dangerous situation. Let me tell you very briefly. Way back in 1950s, the Comet had this problem. Why? Because the windows used to start developing cracks. The windows used to be squarish at that time, and when the crack used to develop, they used to go into the fuselage, and the thing used to spring open. And at height, if this happens, then the explosive decompression, where the airframe cracks and the aircraft crashes. Here, the height was 16,000 feet. That is why no passenger got sucked out and the aircraft landed safely. Had it been at 35,000 feet or so, then the things would have been different. Now, this aspect requires a complete checkup because the fuselage has to undergo test, proper test, stresses and strain tests will be carried out. And if there's a minor crack which even develops in the edges, and that goes into the airframe, and then the airframe starts breaking up. Here also, a piece of airframe, the fuselage broke up also, and the window flew out. But since the aircraft was at 16,000 feet and below, it got, there was no major emergency. Yes, this was an emergency, all right, but nothing untoward happened which, would have harmed the passengers. So I personally feel this airline will have to inspect all its aircraft. It will have to go for inspection. Airframe test will have to be done. The Boeing already is under great pressure from various aspects, and this is another pressure which is building up. If this aircraft was Boeing, then I personally feel that the designers would be called, have to review the whole system whole airframe checkup will have to be done. So this is a serious emergency as far as I'm concerned, and this explosive decompression would have landed up into a big disaster had it been at height.
Thank you, Wing Commander Bakshi. In fact, like you were saying, I mean, most of the planes in this particular fleet will have to be checked, and that's what Alaskan Airlines has now done. We are hearing now that they've grounded 65 Boeing 737-9 flights late Friday hours after a window and a piece of fuselage reportedly on this particular plane that you're seeing there. That black spot that you see there, that dark spot, that's a window. Can you imagine happening mid-air when a window just blows out and your mobile phone gets sucked out? It's not funny. Anything can happen in a situation like this, and this plane had to make an emergency landing. It's landed safely, thankfully, with 174 passengers and 6 crew members. Taking a short break now as we get you more breaking news update and countdown to that big Aditya L1 moment. Before that, I think we have Group Captain Agustin Vinod also joining us. Group Captain Agustin Vinod, are you there? Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
How are you? Good afternoon.
Group
I was also going through this news. It's really really scary for having a gaping hole, through the cabin. And though it happened at 16,000 feet, which is not, fairly high altitude. So that way, I think the damage to passengers and the aeroplane has been minimized. But this particular aeroplane engine is capable of going up to 41,000 feet. And if it had happened at 40 and 41,000 feet, that kind of altitude, then it would have been really, really catastrophic. And, probably could have led to very bad damage. So that is something, godsend, I would say. But the fact of the matter is, Niranjan, is this particular aeroplane, the 737-9, it's a fairly old airframe. So probably age also could have been the reason why the blowout was happened. But best part is, like the images that you showed, the oxygen system worked beautifully. So from 16,000 feet down to 10,000 feet, that's a 6,000 feet drop. Passengers were saved or were given adequate oxygen. So even with the people who have had some medical issues also, could have, not much damage would have happened. So that way, it is godsend. But it is something that we need to really watch out for. Boeing, because Boeing has been in news for a lot of bad publicity of it. Over to you.
Group Captain, I'm just hearing, and there is one very scary picture, also doing the rounds that shows perhaps a large part of the window was also sucked out, and one seat, they were saying, and I can't confirm it, of course. I can't confirm it right now, but some pictures suggesting that maybe an unoccupied seat. An unoccupied seat was also sucked out. Now, I can't confirm this. We'll try and, wait for some more details to come in, and we'll share that with our viewers as well. Some pictures that are coming in right now. A very scary situation in the skies at 16,000 feet, according to some reports. A child sitting near the window was reportedly pulled and his shirt was torn off. Some passengers also lost their phones, which were sucked out of the plane. A seat next to the window was also blown out due to decompression. So that was the scary situation in the skies there in the Alaskan Airlines Boeing flight. We'll take a short break right now. Stay tuned.